Hello and welcome to this new section called Delivery Management in this course on Operations and Supply Chain Management. So in this section, we will will help you learn about the delivery management, the delivery of your products and services as required by customers, so that you can become an excellent operations and supply chain management professional. And in this particular lecture, we will talk about two broad things before we get into more details. So we will talk about how to deliver the required products and services, and we will have a discussion on what factors affect the on-time delivery of products and services. Right? Great. So what do you think? How to deliver required products and services? Any thoughts on that? Okay. So before we do that, let's look at what factors affect on-time delivery. But once we understand the factors that affect and determine the on-time delivery of your products and services, then you can do something about them and be on the right path, right? So let's look at what factors affect the on-time delivery. See, making on-time deliveries to your customer is a task that requires planning and coordination with almost all manufacturing operations. Now, that includes a key player called Production Planning and Control, or PPC, includes purchasing, production, and warehouse. Now, the PPC needs to lead the team under the sponsorship of the general manager or vice president of operations and manage by starting with defining the OTIF the right way. You need to define the OTIF the right way, working with sales team and managing the demand of the products with capacity constraints in the short term. So there will be products that in the short term the manufacturing won't be having the capacity. So how to manage those demand and supply gaps there, and then building the required long-term capacity to meet the future sales requirement, preparing monthly master production schedule and determining the material required for supporting the master production schedule. So PPC has a lot of things on its plate, and in fact I would say in my experience PPC is the strategic player in this whole game of ensuring the on-time delivery. Now, in addition to PPC, the purchasing needs to ensure that all the required materials are delivered to the warehouse as per the plan using vendor scheduling and vendor evaluation. And these are, we're talking of the raw materials and packaging materials. So any of the material that go into the product. Once these products are in the warehouse, shop floor then needs to manage the workers to produce the quality products using the right quality of materials and hand over to warehouse. And for that, they will need to draw the materials from the warehouses, the raw materials. Then the warehouse receives to manage the incoming raw materials, issue the accepted material to the shop floor from time to time, and they receive the finished goods from the shop floor and ship to the customer in time as per their orders. There's a lot of work happens that is required to meet the on-time delivery. So let's look at each of these contributing factors to find out if you need to focus on it for improving the overall OTM. So you need to figure out what is the factor that is lacking or has a leverage, and that's what you need to work on. So let's look at each of these factors. We start looking at customer focused OTIF definition first, because the first thing in using OTF improvement as a growth strategy is to look at how you define your OTF to your customer. And is it in line with what they want? Because unless you have customers satisfied, and that if you measure OTF and OTF is aligned with the customer's expectation, then you will have customers satisfied and business growing, right? Now, I've seen many businesses measure OTF and work on improving the OTF. That happens most of the places. Unfortunately, this way of OTF improvement does not result in business growth as much as it should or could. The issues are the way the OTF is defined. The OTF is most companies are defined by the GM and Vice President of Manufacturing Operation in agreement with the Managing Director. Rarely are the customers and sales and marketing team involved in how OTF is defined. Consequently, the direct correlation between the customer satisfaction, which is critical for sales growth, and OTF is often missing. And it is therefore no surprise that then the OTF improvements becomes only cosmetic, right? And I have seen dissatisfied customer and sales team with a 99% OTF. So OTF manufacturing claims that they're doing a wonderful service, and you have dissatisfied customer and sales team in large numbers. So then what could you look at, how should you look at the OTF definition and check if it is customer focused? Let's take a look at that. So you should review the OTF definition when you find your customers are not satisfied with the way the time stocks are delivered, products are delivered in time, in spite of you having high OTF, right? So there's obviously something missing. Now, how can you make your OTF definition more customer focused so that the improvement in OTF makes real improvement in customer satisfaction, leading to better share of business from your customers? So let's look at a few things that you can do. The first thing that you need to do is to understand how your customer would define the on-time delivery or OTF of your products to them. Now, how can you do that? You can best understand how your customer would define the OTF is by taking some recent deliveries made and checking with customers if they were the on-time delivery and the reasons for them being on-time deliveries or not. This needs to be done with a representative sample of your customers because then you would get a fair definition feedback. And of course, you need to start by telling them that you would like to define the OTF the right way, and that's why you're seeking their input. So have a dialogue with your customer. Then you need to draft an OTF definition, including the formula and terms, and get customers' alignment, not your managing director's alignment. Now, based on the understanding gained from your customers in the above step, you need to then define the deliveries that will be treated as on-time delivery and the formula for the calculation and get customers' input on it being right. So validate the definition, the draft definition with your customer. Then ask customers to measure your OTF on a monthly basis rather than you measuring and get agreement. With the terms and formula agreed, you can either get the agreement from the customers to provide you the OTF measure every month with the details, or you can provide them and ask their validation. Now, these steps, once you do, will ensure that your OTF is defined the way your customers see, and then you can get on with the measurement and improvement. Make sense? Great. So what do we do in the next lecture? So in the next lecture, we will talk about one very important, after having defined OTF, one of the factors that will determine is how well are you able to manage the demand of the sales and marketing or customers in short term. And how can you do that? Let's take a look at in the next lecture. So thank you so much for watching the first delivery management lecture. I hope you again learning new things, enjoying, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions and also download the PDF file to take a look at anything that is interesting to you.